welcome. Let's see if we get this. Well, it looks like we are live now. I apologize for being a little bit late. I've had some technical difficulties getting this started, but I think we're here now, and I plan to do this every week on Fridays at 11:30. If there are better times that you would want me to do this, just send me a post, a comment, um, just and we'll try to accommodate as much as we can. Um, as you can see, I'm working from home. You can see there's like a little stuffed animal, a map, and stuff behind me. So I've made a makeshift office in what is my home gym. I say that lightly. Got a couple of exercise things in here, and I try to do that daily. It's really important right now to be taking care of ourselves and making sure that we're not falling into bad habits while we're all sitting at home. It's so easy just to go and want to plop down in front of the TV and watch it. But this is really a good time for us to be really working on our businesses and ourselves, making sure that we stay healthy. Um, because this is my first Facebook Live, I don't have any questions that have been submitted to me right now, but please feel free, any legal questions that you have, to submit them to me, and I will answer them on our next session. Um, and we're going to be going live every Friday at 11:30, like I said. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dwayna Boswell O'Shell, and I own Boswell Law Firm. We are a family, probate, guardianship, estate planning. We do a little bit of criminal law um, and business law firm. So if you need any help with any of those, just reach out to me. You can either call me at 832-919-6595, or you can email me at Dwayna Boswell, Dwayna at boswelltexaslaw.com. Sorry, I just had a pop up that kind of distracted me. But um, so one of the things I really wanted to reach out and talk to people about is making sure that you've got your medical power of attorney and some documents that you might need in case the worst happens and you get COVID-19. Um, as we all know, listening to the news, the doom and gloom that we hear all the time, um, it's a good idea to make sure that you have documents in place. So if the worst happens and you can't make decisions for yourself, you have somebody that's been given that authority to do so. You can do that with a couple of different documents. There is a medical power of attorney, and this is you appoint somebody that can make medical decisions for you so that you can have your care taken care of by somebody that you trust. So you can have, your spouse, a child, anybody that you trust that would make those decisions that you would make for yourself. You can grant them the power to do so only in times that you can't do so yourself. So it's not like if you're conscious, somebody else could make a decision contrary to what you want. It's only when you can't make them for yourself. To go along with that is a HIPAA release. So you want to make sure that whoever is making your medical decisions can actually talk to and have access to your medical records so that you can make informed decisions. The doctors don't always talk to the person that has your medical power of attorney over all of your medical history. So it's always a good idea to have that release in case you run into any problems. The other power of attorney that you would want to have right now is a statutory power of attorney. This allows somebody to handle your financial affairs. So if you're, you know, Lord forbid, you've got yourself on a ventilator and you can't pay your mortgage payment, or you can't make utility payments or some payment that's necessary, by giving somebody a statutory power of attorney, you can have them make those decisions for you and be able to take care of your business when you can't. Now, there's a couple different ways you can have statutory power of attorney work. You can either grant full authority so that it's active immediately and it's always active. That could be handy, if you're traveling out of the country when this whole COVID-19 thing goes away and you need somebody to pay a bill and you can't get access to it for whatever reason, you might want to consider having that. Um, you'd want to make sure that you trust that person not to do something crazy with your power of attorney, but you can have it active now and forever. And I'm sorry about any phone noises that you may hear. I'm actually waiting on my bank to call me with in regards to my Paycheck Protection Program loan that I'm trying to get so I can keep my employees paid and my rent paid so that we can continue helping people. So back to the power of attorney. The other way you can do it is to have what we call a springing power in your statutory power of attorney. And that means it's only active and they only have power when you are incapacitated or you can't make those decisions for yourself. So for instance, you get in, a car accident and you're unconscious. At that point, your power of attorney, whoever you grant that power to, would be able to handle your financial affairs. You come out of the coma and you're able to make those decisions for yourself again, that power would no longer be active for whoever your agent is. So that's why it's called springing, because it kind of springs back and forth. Um, so you have those decisions. You can also limit the power that you give to somebody and the decisions that they can make. So if it's just something that you want them to be able to pay bills, you could just have them handle those things. If you grant full power, they would have the ability to make real estate transactions, change beneficiaries. So there's a lot of powers, but you have the ability when you do your power of attorney to pick and choose what they have. Um, you also would want a directive to your physician, and that just tells them your wishes on whether or not you want life support when you have a terminal condition or an irreversible condition. So a terminal condition would be something like cancer, where they don't expect that you would live more than 6 months and there's really nothing more they can do for you. Do you want to have life support continued, or would you want them just to make you comfortable and let you go peacefully without any heroic measures? The irreversible condition would be, you're in some sort of accident and you've got brain damage. And they don't expect that there's any chance that you're going to recover from that. Once again, you can pick whether life support remains in effect or not. Those are two separate things, and you can choose the same on both, or you can change life support on one and not the other. So it's kind of a cool thing that you can do both things. So those are the documents that you absolutely should have in place right now. We do those documents at Boswell Law Firm. Right now, just because we want to make sure that everybody's got those documents in place and they can move forward. Um, we're offering a special right now to get those documents that I just mentioned for $250. Normally those documents would be $750 or more, but like I said, I really want to help people as much as I can during this epidemic craziness that we're all experiencing. The other documents that we normally have in our estate planning package that we offer would be your will and a declaration of guardian. Your will, you want to have that in place, in case you pass for whatever reason. It really does help your family members understand what your wishes were and how you wanted your estate divided. Wills are pretty flexible and you can make whatever decisions you want. It just makes the process after you pass much easier on your loved ones to have a will in place, because without a will, you're looking at 2 to 3 times the expense. And a lot of times those expenses have to come out of your loved one's pocket until they can get appointed and get access to your funds. There's also some planning that you would want to put in place right now. After the Secure Act was passed at the first year, a lot of people don't know about this, but it really affects how your retirement is distributed. So it doesn't really affect you, it wouldn't affect your spouse, but if you were to leave your 401k to a loved one, then it could really hurt them because they have 10 years to take the full amount out instead of being able to extend those distributions over their lifespan, which means they're getting hit with, maybe double income and having to pay the taxes at their tax rate. So there's some planning that can be put in place in your wills to help offset some of those costs. So the other document is what I call a declaration of guardian, and that is for yourself, not for a minor child. A minor child would be a different document. But this would say if you ever have to have a guardianship appointed for you, who would you want to have serve and who would you not want to have serve? So sometimes that second part is the important part of that document, especially if you have, one child that's really responsible and another child that's not. The one that's not responsible files to get guardianship because they want access to your money. And once we have guardianship established for any reason, any power of attorney that you may have would be ineffective. So it's just kind of a backup document that you may never ever need, but it's definitely something to have available for your loved ones, just so if that occasion ever arises, then you would be able to talk to the court and tell them what your wishes were when you were able to make those wishes. So that second package we're offering for $500 right now. Normally that's about $12.50. So just to make sure that everybody's got every document that they could possibly need, we're really drastically reducing those amounts. If you're interested and you want to talk more about that, you can go to www.boswelltexaslaw.com, and Texas is completely spelled out. And there is a link on there to my calendar, and you can make an appointment and we can talk about your needs and what you would want further. You can also email me at Duana, which is DUANA, at boswelltexaslaw.com, and I can get you out some information on our packages. For all you small business owners out there, kind of switching gears just a little bit, there are a lot of government assistance that's being passed every day in a lot of laws. So I would strongly encourage you guys to go and check out the Family First Act. If you're an employer and you have less than 500 or less employees, it affects you. And it's basically the two big parts on on this plan that affects the employers is the Emergency Sick Pay Act and the expansion of the Family Medical Leave Act. Both of those say that if an employee is affected by the COVID-19, that they can get up to 2 weeks full pay. There's 6 different, categories that they would have to fit into. Some of them they get full pay, some of them they get 2/3 pay. So if you want more information about that, just reach out to me and I can provide that. Or you can go to my website, to my blog page, and I've got a blog out there on these 2 medical leave, basically expansions. The family medical leave is if they are taking care of a family member, then they've expanded the Family Medical Leave Act to allow for payment of 2/3 of their salary for up to, I believe it was 12 weeks last I looked. They've kind of gone back and forth on it. But once again, that's on the blog, that's on my website. I invite you to go out there. Really what we're trying to do right now is just make sure everybody's got the information that they need. Small employers today, they opened up the Paycheck Protection Loan applications. So make sure you get in touch with your lenders or your banking institutions and get that in the process. It's the first come, first serve. So it's going to go through June or until the funds are expended. So you want to make sure you get in there, and you can get up to 2.5 times your payroll. And they're going to look at the last year's averages. And you can use that money for payroll, for utilities, for rent, for mortgage payments, for a business. And what they're saying right now is if you use it for those reasons, then they're going to be forgiving those loans in the future. If you use it for other reasons, it's a really low interest rate. It's looking like it's about 1%. Um, and you've got 6 months deferral before you have to start paying that, and it's a 2-year loan. There's also some 401k benefits that are going to be coming out. You're not going to get penalties and interest on some of those. So really, it's just, there's a whole lot of information. I'm going to try to keep posted on that. We're putting together a newsletter that's going to start being sent out to help give you some links at least to find out more information for yourself. Once again, please feel free to email me with any questions. You can put them in my Facebook. You can do whatever you need to get them to me, and I will do my best to answer them. Um, looks like we've got maybe about 5 more minutes. If anybody has any questions, I can just write them in the comments. If I don't get any here in the next couple minutes, then we're probably going to end a little early today. I appreciate everybody that's watching, and hopefully they've gotten some good information. Um, yeah, just really, I just want everybody to remember, try to stay sane, try to stay active, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. These are good times. We've got extra time. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and just to see how they're doing. Um, this time is so easy to fall into the fears and the worry and all the negativity that the media is definitely spouting out to us daily. The numbers of people that have come down with it, the number of people that are dying. Um, it's a horrible, horrible epidemic, but I just really want to, ask everyone to stay on the positive side. Use this time to, read that book that you haven't read, or make that phone call to a family member or a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Just really, really use this time and focus on the positivity. It's also a really good time to, read some good books. I just finished The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and it is a wonderful read. I highly suggest it. It's about 200, a little over 200 pages, easy to read, and it really will change the way that you look at things. He talks about the upper limit and how we're all uncomfortable if we go above our upper limits, and how to kind of move past that, that feeling of unworthiness to be successful. And so, as we kind of are going to wrap up here, one of the things he says, and what I've been repeating to myself, um, you can use this in meditation, or you can just use it kind of as a mantra, is what he calls it. And that is, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day, and I inspire those around me to do the same. And so, as we come to a close here, I just want to leave you with those words, and just try to repeat those words to yourself, and live them every day. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all. I want you to stay safe, and just reach out to me if there is absolutely anything that I can do. If you're feeling, sad, depressed, any of those things, just reach out to me and we'll have a phone call. We can do a Zoom call, get a nice, tea or cocktail, whatever you want, and just talk. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all next week.